As the nation prepares to mark the 10th anniversary of the horrible attacks of September the 11th, 2001, we are reminded of some of the miracles that happened on that day.
Ari Schonbrun is the executive at Cantor Fitzgerald, even today and was then, whose headquarters was completely destroyed, as many of you know, when American Flight 11 smashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. He was the only one on those upper floors to escape unharmed. His new book is called Miracles and Fate on 78. Ari, welcome. You didn't work on 78. That's where you were when the plane hit.
Correct. I was in between elevators. You took an express to the 78th floor, and then you had to, which was a sky lobby, and then you had to switch to get to an elevator to go to the upper floors. Right. I was in between those elevators.
Now, you should have been at your desk on the 101st floor at that time, but you weren't because of a series of perhaps coincidences that have saved your life. First of all, let's start at the beginning. Why weren't you at your desk?
It was, I was starting out at, 27 in the morning on my way to work. My son had a scholastic book order, which he hadn't done. I was supposed to do it with him. And literally, as I was walking out the door, my wife said to me, did you do the book order? And I said, no. And she yelled. She goes, you're not leaving the house until you do the book order. That set me back. I went into the kitchen and spent 20 minutes negotiating with my 8-year-old. And that set me back 20 minutes. And it
20 minutes, it saved your life.
It was those 20 minutes saved my life.
Because what people don't know is many people don't, World Trade Center stopped, didn't go straight up, right? You had to stop and take another elevator to get all the way up to the top. And it was the interim elevator that allowed you to live because the plane hit above 78.
Correct.
Now, once the plane hits, you decide you're going to get out.
I didn't know what was going on
right.
when the plane did. We had no idea. I thought it was just an explosion. I thought a bomb had gone off somewhere. There was panic. There was,
Sure.
yelling and screaming and fire.
And there in that, we're at that place where you would change elevators to go up to the higher floors. You saw somebody you knew, a woman by the name of Virginia, and she was hurt.
Virginia had third-degree burns. She was on the elevator that I was about to get on. As a matter of fact, when the plane hit and the walls collapsed, the jet fuel came down the sides. There was a sparking cable in the elevator that ignited, and that's why. And she literally jumped through the fire. She had third-degree burns, and I happened to be the guy that was there.
And you said you helped her down into the ambulance, outside into the ground, right?
Yeah.
And then she said to you, help me into the ambulance, right?
What she said to me was, I helped her into the ambulance, but when the ambulance was ready to go, she says to me, Ari, you're coming with us. And it wasn't something I really wanted to do, because I was really looking for more friends, coworkers,
Sure.
I wasn't leaving the scene. And she turned to the ambulance driver and she said, we're not leaving unless he comes with us. And so I really didn't have much of a choice, and I got into that ambulance. And let me tell you, if she wouldn't have insisted that I get into that ambulance, you'd be interviewing somebody else today.
Because the building would have fallen on you.
I would have been right there.
Two coincidences. Your life was saved twice in one day.
Yes, absolutely.
And what has happened since then? You said that you've changed, obviously. You're not as career-driven. Used to be all about Wall Street first. And now it's family one and family two are your priorities.
Correct. It's my life is, work will always be there, okay? But the experiences that my kids go through, they go through once in life. And I want to make sure that I'm there for them. And I want to make sure that I experience it with them.
Sure. Now, I refer to them as coincidences. A priest told me once, coincidences are God's way of working anonymously. Do you feel that they're coincidences, or were they miracles?
They were miracles. God was looking out for me that day. I mean, he plucked me out of a burning building and gave me a second chance. I had a son who was born in 2003, 8.5 years after my last child was born, and after the doctors told my wife she would not be able to have any more children. We had 4 and we were fine with it, and then all of a sudden in 2003, this kid comes along, and you know what? When I look back on that, I say, one of the reasons I think that I actually got out of that building is because so that soul can come down to this earth, because he needed to be born.
Have you been able to process the loss of your friends and colleagues? How do you put that in perspective as we come up in year 10?
I cry a lot. I mean, there's no perspective to put it into. I mean, look, I lost 500 friends. We lost 658 coworkers. How do you deal with that? You deal with it as best you can. You take comfort in the fact that, Cantor is taking care of these families.
Just like they said they would.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Howard Lutnick is an absolute saint as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And you go on.
Sure.
You try and do whatever you can.
Were you a religious guy before this?
I was an Orthodox Jew beforehand. If you would ask me if I had changed 9 years ago, I would have said no, but today I feel that I have changed. I have become more religious.
Where are you going to be on 9/11?
I'm doing a talk in my son's school, and then I'm going to be at the Cantor Memorial in Central Park.